Procurement is a hidden gold mine, though most organizations manage it like a basic back-office necessity. This gap allows vendors to win, while massive amounts of capital are unknowingly left on the table. To see the problem, look at the sheer scale of a modern institutional operation. A typical large enterprise manages relationships with thousands of suppliers across dozens of countries, processing millions of transactions and negotiating hundreds of crores in annual spend. At this scale, traditional supply chains suffer from an invisible bleed. Between 15 and 30% of an organization's total spend value is lost to unmanaged complexity. This loss isn't a failure of talent. It happens because modern supply chain complexity has simply outpaced the human capacity to track and manage it effectively. For 2 decades, companies relied on a false sense of digital security. They spent billions on ERP systems and procure-to-pay software, believing that digitization equaled safety. In reality, these systems remained blind to physical disruptions. This vulnerability was exposed in 2021 when a single ship blocked the Suez Canal, freezing billions in trade while digital dashboards watched helplessly. We saw the same pattern during the pandemic. Supply networks suffered cascading failures, resulting in massive material shortages because legacy software lacked visibility into extended supplier networks. The fundamental flaw of first-generation software is that it merely digitized paper-based processes. It still relies on human-written rules to handle every exception and anomaly. Automating a rigid, reactive workflow only accelerates failure. Resilience in a modern network requires an active layer of intelligence. This is the shift from automation to intelligence. Where old tech applies rigid rules to structured data, AI learns from historical patterns to independently predict and route around disruptions. This intelligence plugs specific financial leaks, starting with tail spend. Usually, 20% of suppliers account for 80% of spend. The remaining 80% are low-value, high-complexity vendors that typically bleed up to 15% of organizational value. This table quantifies the cost of inaction. By deploying algorithms to automatically run competitive processes for these low-value purchases, organizations realize a 40 to 60% reduction in leakage. The second leak is supplier risk blindness. Traditional risk management relies on periodic audits that typically only discover a vendor's financial distress or ethical violation after the damage is done. Machine learning changes the timing. By scanning thousands of external signals to detect anomalies in real time, AI predicts vendor failure 30 to 50% earlier, avoiding disruptions that often cost over $100 million. This shifts the department's focus. Instead of performing post-mortems on disasters, procurement operates as a radar system that avoids them entirely. The third leak is process paralysis. Industry benchmarks show that buyers waste 40% of their time on manual administrative paperwork, data entry, and invoice exceptions, instead of strategic negotiation. Automated anomaly detection slashes invoice processing costs by up to 90%, immediately clearing the administrative backlog. The fourth leak is forecasting inaccuracy. Traditional models fail because they rely on historical sales while ignoring the high-speed volatility of modern market signals. This chart shows the difference. While a rigid forecast misses sudden shifts, an AI-driven model adapts to real-time signals, reducing error rates and inventory carrying costs. By stripping away administrative friction, AI weaponizes the procurement professional for high-level category strategy and vendor development. Pacing increases slightly. As the administrative chaos finally clears away, modern procurement emerges as an organization's sharpest, most strategic offensive weapon. This creates a compound effect. Unlike static software, machine learning models improve with every data point they ingest. Over time, they become more accurate and more efficient. Early adopters build a durable advantage through these compounding models, creating a performance gap that widens every day as the system learns the specific nuances of their supply network. For supply chain leaders, the immediate priority is sequencing these implementations to stop the financial bleeding. It is time to step out of the spreadsheets. By embracing data-driven intelligence, you stop reacting to chaos and build a permanent competitive edge.